Hello and welcome to the Absolute Beginner Guitar Lesson Series. My name is Oliver and today's lesson is lesson number 17. Let's get into it. The subject of today's lesson is root note G string minor chord fingerings. So let's just get into it. The parameters of this lesson, essentially what we're going to be doing is we are only going to be using the first three strings of the guitar, and that is the E string, the B string, and the G string. And these will be three note chords using those three strings. And all of the root notes of these minor chords will be found on the G string. And these root notes will all be root notes, notes that are in the C major scale. This isn't a set of chords to be played in the key of C. We are merely using notes of the C major scale as our root notes because we have familiarity with those notes. The first chord is going to be A minor. And as always, the first thing we need to do is we need to find the root note A. And we can find the root note A at the second fret of the G string. And I'm going to play that note with my middle finger. So we have the root note A at the second fret of the G string, played with our middle finger. So on the B string, what we're going to do is we're going to play the note at the first fret on the B string. And we're going to play that with our index finger. And that note is C, I'm sure you know by now. So, and on the E string, what we're going to do is we're just going to play the open E string. So, to review, starting with the G string, we have our middle finger playing at the second fret of the G string. That's the root note A. We have our index finger playing at the first fret of the B string. And we have the open E string. That is the A minor chord. Next thing we're going to do, the next chord we're going to play is B minor. So again, the first thing we need to do is we need to locate the B note on the G string. And I can locate that at the fourth fret, one whole step above where the A note was at the second fret. So the root note B is at the fourth fret of the G string. And I'm just going to play that with my ring finger. We're going to play the note at the third fret on the B string. And we're going to use our middle finger for that note. So now we have the root note played with a ring finger at the fourth fret of the G string. And we have our middle finger playing the note at the third fret of the B string. And finally, the note that we're going to play on the E string is 2 frets lower than the root note. So again, our root note is at the fourth fret on the B string. So we're going to play 2 frets lower on the E string, which means we're going to play at the second fret of the E string. And I'm going to use my index finger to play that note. So now we have B minor. And as you may notice, this is a movable chord form. It's a closed fingering, which for those who haven't watched these lessons previously, who may not know, that just means we have no open strings in our fingering. The fingering we used for the A minor chord was an open string fingering because we had an open string. So that fingering is really only being used for the A minor chord. So anyway, now with this B minor chord, we've established a movable chord form, which means that as long as we maintain the relationship between our fingers, we can move this chord to different places. And wherever we move this chord, we will have a minor chord. So now it's just a question of moving our chord so that our root note is always under our ring finger on the G string. So this is the basic fundamental information of the lesson. We have 2 chord fingerings. The next time we come back, we're going to take the minor chord fingerings that we learned in this lesson, along with the major chord fingerings that we learned in the previous lesson, and we're going to apply those to a set of scale tone chords in the key of C major, so we can begin to hear what these chords sound like when they're put together in a more musical way. So put in your time, put in your work, and I hope to see you there. Peace.